Sports. It's who we are. It's what we do. It's how we roll. It's wins and losses, highs and lows. It's effort, respect, and dedication. The High School Sports Beat. Sports. It's who we are.
Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us on the High School Sports Beat. I'm Dave Yates. We continue our look back at some of the stories we've covered over the last 9 years, beginning this week with a profile on Adam Boyce, the Greece Arcadia Titans basketball manager.
It is game night for the Greece Arcadia boys basketball team. Number 32 sets up in his customary place at the end of the Titans bench. This is Adam's team.
Adam's a great kid. I mean, I respect the heck out of him. He just, I admire him. He comes to practice every day. He's been doing this since the 7th grade, being the manager of 3 sports. And he just loves the game. Unfortunately, because of his medical conditions, he can never play them.
At age 5, Adam Boyce was diagnosed with muscular dystrophy.
He's very lucky. He's still walking. Most boys with muscular dystrophy are in wheelchairs by age 11 or 12, and he's 19 now. So we've enjoyed a lot of bonus years of him being able to walk and enjoy that.
You're having a difficult time getting around, and muscular dystrophy is just a horrible thing. How are you dealing with it these days?
I'm dealing with the best I can.
The sports teams have helped greatly. Adam originally signed on to help manage the middle school football team and gradually expanded his responsibilities to include all of Arcadia's sports teams. Boyce is 19 now. He graduated 2 years ago, but he is still out here contributing.
It makes me feel good because 2 years ago I was a senior and I got inducted to the Sports Hall of Fame at the school, and I've been doing it ever since then. Hopefully doing it again.
He loves the guys. This is what really got him through high school, and he worked hard in school, but only because he could be at practice after school and be with the guys. And the athletes in the school really supported him beyond our wildest dreams. It's been a great run for him.
There's little positive in terms of the long-term prognosis for Adam, but for now, things are okay.
When your son's diagnosed with this at age 5, you just don't know what to expect. You're thinking the worst. You're thinking about him being bullied at school. You're thinking about him not having friends. And it's just really been just the opposite of that. The student body and the faculty at that school has just been unbelievable in regards to Adam. And giving him opportunities to be part of things. And he's took it as far as he possibly can. I mean, he's there every minute of every practice and every game, living every win and living every loss, just like the guys. I mean, it's a dream come true. It really is.
How important is it to you to be on the bench with these guys?
I've been doing this for the 4th year now, and it seems pretty fun, and that's it.
It's nice to be part of it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, coming up next, Matt Trabold joins us for the High School Notebook. We'll have that when the High School Sports Beat continues. Well, hello, everybody, and thanks once again for watching us on the High School Sports Beat. I'm Dave Yates. It is time now for the High School Notebook, and joining us once again is Matt Trabold. Matt, thanks for hopping on board.
Thanks for having me on.
Oh, of course, as always. We're going to start talking a little wrestling to begin with, talking about a kid from Hilton. A lot of great wrestlers coming out of Hilton recently, and this is the latest going D1.
So talking some Lou DePrez, the former Hilton cadet recently showed again that Diakomahalis is not the only Hilton family with a surname beginning with D that has international notoriety, you could say, in the world of wrestling. You mentioned a second ago that they have so many big families in that program, coming out of that program. So over these coronavirus times, these shelter-at-home times that we have been living in, the Rochesterian and Binghamton University redshirt sophomore who wrestles at 184 pounds. So DePrez was named a first-team All-American by the National Collegiate Wrestling Association. He ended the 2019-2020 season with a 26-5 record, big time, in some big tournaments, played very well. As the fifth ever Binghamton Bearcat to be named an All-American of any kind, he was the program's first since 2012, so that's a big deal even adding on to that accomplishment. He is no stranger to these kind of accolades on a national scale. Top 184-pound recruit in the nation in his high school days. He won state titles 15, 16, and 17. Kid's a shining star.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive stuff right there. Now let's switch to some football. Let's talk about the 3M boys, some guys from the area getting some D1 offers out there.
Yeah, M&M and M. So I wanted to highlight a few current Section 5 football guys who have seen the recruiting ramp up over social distancing times. And they're all big dudes from either the offensive line or defensive line from their respective teams. First off, there's the one of this three who is actually committed in the last week. That's Fairport defensive lineman Jalen Moss. He's the cousin of a couple former Rochester-born Syracuse Orange Stars, also defensive lineman Chandler Jones, a two-time first-team All-Pro, a lot of Pro Bowls under his belt as well. And Arthur Jones, who won a Super Bowl with the Ravens fairly recently, not to mention UFC star John Bones Jones. So it's in the blood there. It's in the family. A lot of talent going on. Fairport's head coach, Mark Vitacor, you have to give him some love. I've talked about him on the show before. He's done such a good job readying and showcasing talent at his own school for the next level, plus doing it for kids across the state with his organization, Prospect New York State. So you've seen that kind of across the board. He's so good at getting these kids out there, college eyes on them. It's another one who has received an FBS offer, the 6'6" Irondequoit Eagle offensive tackle, Rowan McGuinn. Despite that big old size, Rowan moves so well. I remember going to scout a scrimmage before this past boys basketball season, Irondequoit versus Bishop Kearney, crosstown battle, and thinking, who is this powerful big dude off the bench, moving around the floor fluidly like a guard? It was him, and he's also a big-time contributor on the lacrosse team there. He has a few D1 offers so far, including FBS UMass and FCS Monmouth and Bryant University. They also need to mention Livonia offensive lineman Brendan Mayo, 6'3", with an around 6'6" wingspan, recently invited to a couple of national all-star games. He's put on the watch list for the Blue-Gray All-American Bowl at the stadium where the Dallas Cowboys play, and selected to the Tiki Bowl this winter in Honolulu, late December. Add in another probable future D1 lineman from the area in McQuaid's Aldrin Wilson. A lot of talent going on around here with the big boys.
Hey, anytime you're going to a thing called the Tiki Bowl, life is good.
Sounds fantastic, right?
Get me on the press list for that, would you? Hey, Matt, great stuff as always. Thanks a lot, buddy, for joining us. You stay well, okay?
You too. Thank you.
All right, take it easy. We're back with more of the High School Sports Beat right after this. Coming up next, the Making the Grade nominee with Kyle O'Gara, and later, it's the rematch when the girls of Penfield take on the Spartans and Sierra Dillard of Gates-Chili. Well, that story with High School Sports Beat returns.
Welcome back, and thank you for watching the High School Sports Beat. I'm Kyle O'Gara.
Making the grade this week is Honeoye Falls Lima senior Anthony Noto. If you're a wrestler anywhere in New York State, chances are you've heard of Anthony Noto. Noto is a two-time All-American and four-time New York State champion. In addition to an incredible track record wrestling, Anthony volunteers his time to help coach youth wrestling clinics. In the classroom, Anthony has an 87% average and plans to major in sports management and criminology. After graduation, Anthony is committed to continue his education and wrestling career at North Carolina State. This week, Anthony Noto is making the grade.
If you have a student in mind for our Making the Grade segment, we want your nominations. Send them into mtg@rocksportsnow.com. Now here's Dave in the McArdle Section 5 Spotlight.
Thanks, Kyle. Here's how some of the athletes, teams, and coaches are handling quarantine in this week's Section 5 Spotlight, brought to you by McArdle's in Fairport. Come home to McArdle's.
McArdle's is open for takeout and delivery with DoorDash and Grubhub every day of the week. Visit our website, eatatmcardles.com.
Marcus Whitman's Paul LaHue has a message for everyone with the spring sports season canceled.
And today is a tough day because yesterday we got the unfortunate news that spring sports have been canceled, going along with the rest of our school year being homeschooled and in quarantine. So not the news we were really hoping for, but maybe we kind of expected it. But because of that, we're going to take a break today. We're going to rest. No matter what, it's still a great day to be a Wildcat.
Men in field hockey's 9th grader working on improving her skills. Coach Dan Deckman and the Harley-Allendale Columbia track team are very active and using technology to still train together.
Because the community, you know, your coaches and your teammates, they're not just your friends, they're your family. We use this app called Strava. You can log in a recent activity you did. Your friends can comment on it. They can encourage you to stay motivated. And during times like this, that's really helpful to have another family besides the one that you're quarantined with.
If your team or school would like to share their quarantine activities, workouts, or challenges, let us know. Just tag @HighSchoolSportsBeat on social media. Up next, the rematch. 2 undefeated teams, Gates-Chili versus Penfield, when the High School Sports Beat continues.
And now to Eichel. He floated one. Score!
Welcome back, and thanks for joining us on the High School Sports Beat. I'm Dave Yates. We shared the 2012 sectional final between Penfield and Gates-Chili 3 weeks ago, and now we look back at the 2013 rematch when both teams met in February with identical 8-0 records, and then again for the sectional title.
If you're a fan of girls basketball, chances are that you were here. Roberts Wesleyan played host to a triple header, a great day of girls basketball headlined by its hottest rivalry. The Penfield Patriots and Gates-Chili Spartans met for the first time since Penfield beat Gates for the Class AAA title at the same venue last year. And while it's been 10 months since that championship game, there was a familiar feeling in the air.
We know them, they know us. We know, I try to tell my kids it was just another high school game, but you don't get a crowd like this for a regular season game.
Anticipation that was building in the packed house throughout the evening quickly turned into loud enthusiasm at the opening tip-off. Deona Johnson scored the first points of the game, a three-pointer that put the Spartans on the board. Penfield answered back. Senior Katie Kays put Penfield up 4-3 with a move to the inside. The teams would continue to trade baskets throughout most of the start of the game until it was time for one team to break out. A couple of threes from Johnson and Sierra Dillard helped the Spartans build a lead, and at the end of the first quarter, Gates was up by 10. The Spartans continued to roll in the second quarter. Quality passing down low allowed Gates to open an 11-point lead.
We have Corey Bayne-Walker and Deonna Johnson and myself, and when we see a teammate open, we're not selfish at all, and I would love to dish it to anybody on my team. I'm confident in anybody else on my team.
It was easy to see that things were going the Spartans' way when the threes kept falling.
We hit some big 3 key pointers. I hit 2, D hit a couple, C. Our shots were fortunately on today for a 3-pointer.
Gates controlled much of the second quarter until Penfield closed the gap to under 10, and with just under 2 minutes to play, the Patriots called a timeout to regroup.
All Coach said was, look, you still have 2 minutes. That's a lot of time. He was not angry. It was play Penfield basketball. Go out there and play like you guys know how to play.
The timeout seemed to work, and Penfield battled back, playing strong defense and knocking down key shots. They were able to close the gap to 3, 33-36 at the half.
There were times out there you looked defeated. You just looked defeated. We won the championship last year by being aggressive on defense, not by backing up.
If they're not setting a pick, you still need to be moving. You need to be slipping behind people and then moving to an open spot. Well, luckily we shot pretty well the first half. But if we don't shoot well the second half, it's going to be a different situation. Recognize that.
That wasn't Penfield basketball. Penfield basketball for 16 minutes. I think you like the outcome. What? 1, 2, 3.
What? You have 16 minutes to suck it up and give it everything you've got. Feed off the crowd. They're here for you. All right? Let's get after it. Let's take this from them right now.
The second half opened with the Patriots still storming back. Michelle Nesselbush hit a mid-range shot to put Penfield within 1.
We started off flat because they got up fast, but we played good defense after that and we cut it down. So we were feeling good about that, how we got to come back.
The Patriots were back in the game, but Gates still had the lead.
Coach just kept saying, like, keep pushing it and everything. They're not going to go away. Of course they're not. You guys keep running our plays well, playing defense again. So we got to keep doing our game plan. We stuck to it.
The Gates game plan involved sharing the ball. Penfield may have cut the lead to start the half, but by the end of the third quarter, the Spartans were back in command, having opened up another double-digit lead.
Especially that third quarter, we kind of picked it up and we see our shots are falling and everything, but they never stop fighting. Fourth quarter, they never give up, and that's the type of team they are.
As the game entered its final frame, Gates seemed to be in complete control, maintaining a 10-point lead and not allowing Penfield to gain anything back. Dillard led the Spartans with 25 points, including 3 off an incredible individual play, which saw her steal the ball, then drive to the hoop for a layup, drawing a foul in the process. There was still more basketball to be played, though, and Penfield was down but not out. Margot Hetzke led her team with 31 points, including a basket late in the game that closed the gap to 66-62. The Patriots would play catch-up while trying to control the clock. It worked. And before anyone in the crowd knew it, a 3-pointer put the Patriots within a basket of tying things up. Down 3 points, Penfield had time for one final shot. No good. Gates wins 70-67, and while they celebrated, both teams also looked ahead to a possible rematch.
They showed up and we didn't, and next time we got to show up. If we get it next time, we got to show up.
I still consider them the best right now, and we'll stay that number 2 spot, and we're going to see them again, and it'll be another good rematch.
It was one of those classic matchups that failed to live up to its billing. Penfield and Gates-Chili were head and shoulders above all others in Section 5, but their showdown for the Class AA1 title was dominated by the unbeaten Spartans, who held Patriot star and all-time leading scorer Margot Hetzke to a mere 5 points. Gates-Chili pulled away from Penfield in the second quarter and just kept pounding. Senior Corey Bayne-Walker netted 20 as the tournament MVP for the new Section 5 champs.
An undefeated season, was that important? You guys have finished it off like this?
For me, for my senior year, I felt it was important to me, but just this game was all that really mattered. Regardless of how many games we won before, this game was what counted. And we were happy just to win this game.
Gates-Chili did not suffer a loss until the state final matchup with Ossining. Sierra Dillard and Corey Bayne-Walker would be named to the All-State second team. Bayne-Walker went on to a 4-year career at Stony Brook, while Sierra Dillard ended her career with the UB Bulls, and as seen here on the Sports Beat, was drafted last year in the WNBA draft. We'd like to thank the athletes, teams, and coaches in Section 5. Thanks for watching. We'll see you here next week, and please, everyone, take care and stay safe.